Hello, it's time to talk culture here on France 24. Welcome to Encore. Here's what we've got in store for you today. One giant leap for special effects. Gravity has already won a slew of awards for its realistic depiction of outer space. But you may not realise it was in a galaxy not so far away the visual magic was created. Waltzing through the ages, we take you to the ball capital of the world, Vienna, as dance-loving visitors pretend to be prince and princess for a day. And jellyfish, flying angels, and zombies. There's a lot more to Venice Carnival than just masks and mystery. We'll tell you about some of the more bizarre traditions. We're going to start, though, with a sneak peek into the latest looks coming out of Paris Fashion Week, taking place right now. The French capital wraps up the month-long shows, which started in New York. Belgian designer Dries van Noten was the first to strut his stuff, combining the softness of flowers with op-art graphics. Let's take a listen to him talking about his latest collection.
For me, I really wanted to find elegance once in a different way. Bright colors, really neon colors, but to balance that, you have the graphical elements. And to balance the graphical elements, the coldness, the brashness of that, I wanted to do something very spontaneous, like the hand-painted flowers, which are really hand-painted directly on the garment.
Well, if you want to find out more about what inspires the Belgian designer, you can also check out an exhibition opening this weekend at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs in Paris. All right, from bold fashion to eye-popping special effects now, Oscar-nominated Gravity may well have you actually believing they sent Sandra Bullock and George Clooney into outer space. The film has already won a host of awards for its awe-inspiring visuals, but it was in a London basement, not Hollywood, that the magic was made. And the British capital is fast becoming the destination of choice for blockbusters in need of a little CGI wizardry.
Hollywood heavyweight Sandra Bullock lights up the screen in the film Gravity, also starring George Clooney. But it's the movie's special effects which steal the limelight. Their faces are real, but little else aboard this space station is. Created painstakingly in a London basement by visual effects company Framestore. A workforce of up to 500 spent 3 years perfecting the CGI with the help of footage from NASA and a leap or two of imagination.
As soon as you get to things that haven't been filmed, like the space station being destroyed or fire in space, fire under zero gravity, there's minimal reference of that. We just had to kind of, from your understanding of the theory of space, extrapolate that to imagine what would really happen, how things would behave, and from that, how they would look.
Explorer, do you copy?
Explorer, permission to retrieve Dr. Stone.
For the Oscar-nominated blockbuster, Framestore had to push the frontiers of technology, co-creating the Lightbox, a cage filled with 2 million tiny LEDs designed to simulate the harsh light of space. From high-tech to low-tech, a broom handle was used to hit Sandra Bullock on the head to simulate her being bounced around inside the capsule. Designers spent an entire year building a digital replica of the International Space Station, the devil being in the detail.
When we had made the CG spacesuit a copy of the real one that Sandra was wearing on set, and we had a review with the director, and he didn't remember that we hadn't shot her in the real suit for that particular bit, and he thought that the suit that we had made in CG was the real suit. We knew then that we'd nailed it and that he'd completely fallen for it.
And to help graphic artists mimic human movement, motion capture suits like this were used, plotting real action on a virtual landscape. London has in recent years become a hub for the visual effects industry, a boom that began with the successful Harry Potter series of films, and more recently included Inception, Life of Pi, and Prometheus.
There were 3 new design technologies that didn't exist before that were created for the film, and then were applied to all kinds of other films and advertising and television. And Tim Burton, when he was making the Batman movies here, said that he couldn't access visual effects that could be any better than London. They were the best, they are the most cutting edge.
Generous tax incentives have helped visual effects studios here win business, to the fury of Hollywood. An estimated £287 million is now spent on the industry in Britain each year. A solid financial grounding for a booming tech hub with its head firmly in the stars.
Well, next, for more than 2 centuries, Vienna has been the uncontested ball capital of the world. More than 400 of the events are staged each winter, frequented by hundreds of thousands of dance-loving visitors from around the world looking for a little bit of old-school glamour.
For just one weekend, they're traveling back in time. This French-Russian couple has come to Vienna with suitcases full of colorful gowns and elegant tuxedos. Minutes before the opening ceremony, the last touch-ups.
For a very short moment, each one of us feels like a prince or a princess.
Tonight, the dance is held at the Vienna Hofburg, the home of the Habsburg family. Each ball opens with a procession into the main hall, led by debutantes dressed in white gowns. The scene brings back to memory the longest reigning empress of Austria, Sissi. Her life was brought to the screen in the 1955 Sissi trilogy, starring Romy Schneider. For 19th century nostalgic tourists, it's a dream come true.
My wife is a princess. She's like the Empress Sissi. I think it makes her happy to do this. I always discover a whole new side of her.
It's not at all outdated. It's quite modern, actually. It feels good to put a little bit of poetry into this crazy world we live in.
A large painting of the Austrian empress overlooks the Winter Garden, where guests are engaged in a traditional Viennese waltz. Tonight, 12 orchestras are playing for more than 3,000 people. The Franco-Russian couple is spinning out of reality.
It's like a dream. It's fancy and romantic. For a couple of minutes, it's like I'm living another life.
Many of the best balls in town are organized by professional guilds and associations, such as medical doctors, engineers, and lawyers. Flanner tickets range from 200 to 600 euros. But despite the hefty price, all balls in the capital are usually sold out during the season.
Well, if masks and ball gowns are your thing, you may also want to book a quick trip to Venice. The Italian city's legendary carnival is currently in full swing. The annual festival is one of the oldest in the world, dating back to the 11th century, and includes some rather bizarre traditions, as Mark Thompson reports.
Against a bright blue sky, a green angel descends from the bell tower, covered in flowers and accompanied by heavenly music. A crowd of over 100,000 watch on and applaud as 22-year-old student Giulia Nazzi arrives on the stage. It's a Venice carnival tradition dating back to the 16th century, and one of dozens of spectacles amusing locals and bemusing tourists at this year's event.
When I was hanging in midair, I could feel the enthusiasm of the people beneath, supporting me. It was as if I didn't need the harness.
And it's not just Giulia getting into the festive spirit. Thousands of tourists from all over the world will flock to the city over the space of 2 weeks. Venice will be home to traditional masked balls, pageants, reenactments, and special art installations. Many of the early visitors were also keen to show off their own handmade costumes.
It takes about a month to make a costume like this one we're wearing, with all the details they have, because it's very important to take time researching historical details.
Not all visitors wanted to sport traditional period dress, though. There were some surprises, like these jellyfish.
It's difficult to think of anything else at the moment, with unemployment and everything. Nothing's really changing. So we have to enjoy these moments like this carnival to distract ourselves.
Fun distraction or not, these invertebrates, this clown, and in fact all these revelers will be in with a shout of winning the Best Costume Award, given out as the carnival draws to a close on March 4th.
Right, well, that brings us to the end of today's show. But before we go, there's time to quickly take you to one more fantastical place where pension-age pom-pom girls, the children of Transylvania, and a fair few nudes rub shoulder to shoulder. This time, I'm not talking about a carnival, but the photography festival Circulations. Some of the pictures from the young photographic talents in the festival are brightening up the Paris metro. You can catch them until March 16th. Don't worry, though, if you won't be in the French capital. We're going to leave you now with some of those images. Don't forget you can catch up with more culture news on our social networks and follow us at Encore F24. Enjoy and see you for more culture news soon.